All right, I got home. What do I usually do? Well, I sit in my chair, I type in Kyle Rittenhouse into YouTube search, and then I use the filter today so that I can only get the stuff that happened recently. And today I decided, well, let's take a look at what's happening here with Zeminski. You know, we hear something about the picture. I've seen little posts of it, but I can't make out anything in that picture. Sorry, guys. I don't know if this is just like bad reproduction. Couldn't tell you. Whatever the case, I typed Zeminski in, clicked on the Today filter, and this guy's channel comes up. He's got a show here called the Strategic Eyes Show, and he's talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. I figure, hey, why not? I'll go ahead and click on it. Let's hear what he has to say. He does an outstanding job of really laying it down about what's going on in his trial. So I thought it was really worth sharing. I'm not going to play all of it. I'm going to play about a quarter of it because I don't want to take away from his channel. I want you to go over there and watch it on his channel. So I got my oat whiskey here. This is Koval, Koval, and it is truly outstanding. And no, I'm not sponsored by them. They don't know I'm alive. But if you're really looking for some fantastic whiskey that's made from oats, it's the smoothest whiskey I've ever had. And it's like $50 for, like a 500 milliliter bottle or something like that. It's not terribly expensive. At any rate, we're going to go ahead and play this guy's video and react. Hello out there. I'm trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
A lot to take away from Kyle Rittenhouse's testimony yesterday. I can't lie to you, I was at work, I was listening to it. It was so riveting, absolutely riveting, guys. What an amazing testimony. Great job from the defense on direct questioning of Kyle. Not so much a good job for the prosecution.
I'm not certain it was a great job by the defense in their questioning of Kyle, but okay. By the way, I've sped this up by 25%, just to kind of move things along.
I think what we have here is it's easy for us lay people to say that the prosecution is bad. I don't think that the prosecution is necessarily bad. What I think is that they had a failing case.
I can say it. The prosecution is bad. See, that wasn't hard at all. So he's right. It is easy.
The failing case that they were forced to bring forward. Listen, guys, I've been in these rooms, I've been in these conversations in my career where you have politics and bosses who are saying, all right, you got to open this case, you got to work this case. Even though you're like, there's nothing here, they're like, yeah, we need you to work this case. We need you to take care of this.
I don't think that Binger's that reluctant. If he's that reluctant, then he's doing a pretty damn good job of disguising it. He seems really enthusiastic about getting Kyle thrown in jail for as long as he can do it. And does Binger really care if Kyle is innocent or not? No, he doesn't care at all. And he's going to explain to you why.
I can see that happening with these prosecutors. These prosecutors were told, you need to take this to trial because it's too racially and politically charged. You need to take this to trial. MSNBC, CNN, all of these mass media outlets, New York Daily News and New York Times, all these mass market media outlets were saying Kyle Rittenhouse is a white supremacist, Kyle Rittenhouse is racist, Kyle Rittenhouse is a domestic terrorist. All these things they were saying gave the prosecutor no choice but to bring this case forward. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a losing case. The prosecutor knew it, but they're doing their best to work with nothing.
Okay, so here's what I would say in response. The Crystal Kaiser case is more than anything else driving this, I believe. If he's right, and Binger really doesn't want to do this, and he's being forced to by Gravely, it's because of Crystal Kaiser. She's a young black female who shot her rapist. And she's going up for murder after Kyle Rittenhouse does. And the same people who are after Kyle to get him thrown in prison for life are going to stand right behind her and demand her release. So you're going to see a ton of hypocrisy coming from the left on the whole Crystal Kaiser deal. All those arguments that you heard used against Kyle are going to now be flipped 180 degrees. All of a sudden, the carrying of an illegal firearm is not going to matter anymore. So you'll see. At any rate, the Crystal Kaiser case, young black female, killed her rapist. She's not claiming self-defense. She's claiming safe harbor, basically an affirmative defense that essentially allows you to get away with homicide under certain circumstances, like in this case, prostitution. Okay, so let's go back to what he's talking about.
And it's shameful. Kiki's in the building. What up, Kiki? It's shameful because this is supposed to not happen in America. Now, we all know it happens, okay? We know it happens. But it's not supposed to happen in America. This is the opposite of freedom. This is the opposite of a true democracy. It's not supposed to happen to black folks, which it does happen often. And it's not supposed to happen to white people. It's not supposed to happen to any red-blooded American. You should not be railroaded because of the color of your skin or your political ideology.
And people will say, you're right. Yeah. These black people are being railroaded. I agree. They should not be. But Kyle shouldn't be railroaded because he's white. And is he? Absolutely. They look upon Kyle Rittenhouse as a young white male supremacist. He's not. They don't care. This is virtue signaling. The message is more important than the reality.
Or the political tide of the day. We know how the tides go. Tides go in, tides go out. And the fact that we can stoop so low, as Agro Vixen made this great point, the fact that we can stoop so low that we would be willing to sacrifice a child, we all should be ashamed of ourselves collectively. Whether you support Kyle Rittenhouse or not, we all share this collective blame and shame that we would allow our politicians and our criminal justice system to try and sacrifice this child for political whims.
I agree with him, although I'm not certain what else I can do. A bunch of us have picked up the mantle here and have been working pretty hard as we can do, to get him released or at least acquitted. And I don't know what else we can do. So I'm not going to take too much of the blame here. However, I think he's talking about a collective hanging of the heads in shame over what's happened to our country, and I agree with him on that. Furthermore, hey, hypocrisy is a two-way street. We all engage in this kind of stuff from time to time. We shouldn't. We should try to recognize it and not do it, but it happens. We're human.
So like I told you guys, my stomach is killing me, so we're going to make this quick. I want to jump into a few things, and then I want to listen to the trial for the rest of my commute. Hit that like button if you haven't hit the like button already.
Yeah, go to his channel and hit the like button and subscribe to his channel.
That like button. So Kyle Rittenhouse said something that was very interesting, something that only he could have said during that trial. Only he could say this. None of us knew what was in his head. That's why I thought him actually testifying was ingenious, because the prosecutor's case was so bad. Their case was so bad that he could almost do nothing to damage it, less of saying, yes, I killed these people and I wanted to kill them and it's all good. As long as he showed remorse, there's nothing he could have said to destroy his cause. But what he said that was profound to me is Joshua Zeminski. Joshua Zeminski was an anarchist who was out there that day armed with a gun with his psychopathic wife, allegedly, in my opinion. Don't know these folks.
No, he's pretty well got it right.
And they were hanging out with Rosenbaum. Strange bedfellows, huh? Joshua Zeminski is the one who shot his gun first, directly behind Kyle Rittenhouse as Kyle was running. And when he shot the gun, Kyle turned around, and Zeminski then told Rosenbaum, go get him and kill him. Go get him and kill him. Zeminski sicked Rosenbaum on Kyle. And Zeminski displayed the threat of deadly physical force. It's because of Joshua Zeminski, in my opinion, that Rosenbaum is dead.
Yeah, there's a lot of support for that. Zeminski's gotten off pretty easily here. But even if he hadn't done that, he fired that shot, which got his friend killed. And he doesn't seem to really give a shit.
Only Kyle can tell that story. Nobody else can tell that story, ladies and gentlemen. Only Kyle can tell that story. I think when Kyle broke down on the stand, it helped his case. I think that a lot of people were saying that, well, he wasn't crying when he was getting cross-examined. Okay, he's dealing with an adversary.
Yeah, panic attacks work like that. He calmed down, gathered himself up, and it's quite possible for you to go through the rest of the week being fine. All of the people criticizing Kyle just don't understand human nature. But I recognize it. I have a video on it. So if you're curious about my take on Kyle's crying, I'll post a link in the description below. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. I don't want to take away from his viewership. At any rate, I'll link it below and go and watch his show, listen to the rest of it, and subscribe to his channel. Sounds like he's got a lot of really good, cool takes. He was covering the Ahmaud Arbery case pretty thoroughly too, from what I can gather. Like my video, subscribe to my channel.